subject, though, the viewers want to speak about today is the Tottenham circus. I'm going to go to Jessica first on this because the manager's gone. Mason, Ryan Mason has taken over with the assistant manager. Peratici's now been banned further after making like a public appearance on Tottenham in the midst of it all. They're an absolute joke right now. Their fans are fuming. Do you see their season fizzling out now that all this is going on, or do you think this could be something that galvanizes them, Jay?
I don't even know because what is going out for Tottenham? Like, I don't know what's going to happen to them. They had Conte and they were having their best season ever. Then they slid down. Still, that Stellini guy did a good job for a little bit. Then he wasn't. Like, it's hard to tell what you're going to get from Tottenham because one minute they seem like they're in complete disarray and then they'll pull out a result here or there. We know that they can be kind of consistent when they only have to focus on one competition, which is where they are right now. And they have good players that can get that over the line for them. I'm just unsure whether or not they view this as some big circus or if this is just business as usual. This is kind of what they've been like for the last couple of managers that they've had. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back. But I still think that Tottenham can maybe piece together just enough form to get into the top four. But that being their one and only goal every single season has got to be something that they look at. So yeah, I don't even know. Like, to be honest, it looks like there's a lot going on, but if they turned around and got a result at the weekend, I wouldn't be surprised either because that's just kind of how they are. They're always kind of inconsistent and doing this thing. It's hard to know with Tottenham, but we just know that they're not going to do anything beyond make top four. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, out of all the competitions, top four is all they can do. What are you saying, Neeks? Do you sort of see this? I mean, the Peditici thing has kind of embarrassed them because the fact that he's still been in and around the club while he's got this worldwide ban is ridiculous. The geezer's under suspicion of being an absolute crook. That's kind of insult to injury, but with no proper manager, can you really see them delivering something? Kane looking like he's going to leave. It's not good times to be a Spurs fan.
I mean, Spurs, in it, like they're never, nothing's ever great for them when all is said and done. It's only ever been, it's exciting, but in the end, it kind of results in failure. So just them being in the news, maybe it's good for Spurs fans because if they weren't, if Conte didn't say what he said, if Paratici wasn't involved in what he was, they'll just be existing and no one will really be taking them seriously. No one will really paying them any mind. So maybe this is good for Spurs fans that we're actually speaking about them. There's something going on. I think their top four hopes definitely have been hit by Conte because unless they were going to go and get a permanent manager to replace him, I think it decreases their opportunity of getting it. Starting with the game this weekend, I think it's going to be interesting how what are the players thinking? What's Kane thinking? What is he thinking? All right, I'm going to fight for top four because I want to be here next year. Or is he thinking, I'm leaving anyway? I don't really care. The rest of the players aren't even performing anyway. It's pretty much Kane or bust as far as they're concerned. So I don't know. Spurs are just in a very weird place where I think some fans are like, I don't even want top four. Top four only helps Levy, only helps the owners. It doesn't help the club. It doesn't help the play. It doesn't help us as fans. So yeah, I don't know. I think Spurs are a very big risk of kind of just falling away this season. But I don't think the fans are going to be that disappointed if they do because they know that getting top four would only mask over the problems, and really and truly they need a big rebuild. And I think going outside the top four, not getting Champions League football, might actually fast track that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And it's what I do love with Spurs fans though is that it takes not all of them, but it takes this for them to all admit what they really think about the club. Average, all summer winning transfer windows, going to beat you all in the title races, beating you all the trophies with one of you. As soon as it goes wrong every year, they put their tail between their legs and do this. But don't be surprised, rivals of Tottenham and every other member of the top six, if they get a decent manager in like Nagelsmann and make a few good signings, they'll be back out in August with huge chest talking about how they're going to finish in front of Chelsea, They're going to win another trophy before Man United. They'll catch Arsenal this year. Don't be surprised to see it. Like they have a very quick. They're like Zebedee. They
But
bounce
this is
back
that
really quick.
But I feel like some clubs just operate in that manager hire cycle thing, and it gives you the endorphins. I feel like Spurs fans, they'll forget about everything that happened with Conte and Jose Mourinho. They get the new manager, and then they have those endorphins again about something new. When the amount of like the lack of stability over time like should be the focus, but it's like I feel like clubs like that. They're like, okay, sacking the manager gives you something to be hyped about, gives you something to talk about. It gives people hope again. And so, like, this is your fourth manager and who knows how long, or potentially your fourth manager. So I don't know how you can get excited about it, but I can see them doing that because that's what clubs do to you. They sack the manager sometimes just to give you those endorphins again. We all know when you get a new manager, it's exciting. And I can see Spurs fans falling into that because they're never going to do what's required to get their club going to where they expect to be. And then you can have a conversation of whether or not they should expect that, because I still kind of look at Spurs and I'm like, why do you expect more? You were kind of nothing. And then what? Enoch and Levy and them got you into a position where now you're a little bit relevant. Just be happy. Just get somebody that'll help you play good football and chill.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Because I think it all comes down to this summer what Tottenham believe their main aim should be. Because I don't believe that Julian Nagelsmann as the new manager is enough of a big appointment, should I say, to keep Harry Kane around. Harry Kane's already at his wit's end. And I don't think a project manager who was going to take two years to even get to a competitive state is what he wants at this point of his career. He's 30 now. He needs to go and win something. So then the Tottenham sit there and go, do we just go and get a big name manager to try and keep him around? Maybe we'll nick a trophy and he'll have that, that mentality of one trophy at Tottenham means more than 4 or 5 elsewhere. And I really do believe that Tottenham and Levy especially might go down that path, because what is Tottenham without Harry Kane at the minute? What is Tottenham's pull without Harry Kane? What's Tottenham's relevance without Harry Kane? Tottenham Hotspur are relevant because of Harry Kane.
What big name manager though? What big name manager is around? Like exactly. That's the market is awful right now for managers, really.
As if Ancelotti will go to Tottenham.
Ancelotti to Tottenham.
I mean, he went to Everton. He went to Everton. If you pay him enough, he'll go.
Everton, yeah.
You know what? Fair point. I did forget about that.
We need him at Brazil, so hopefully not. I mean, that's the thing, Tom. Sorry,
not we.
Sorry, go on.
Not we.
Yeah, we.
Not we.
I speak for myself when I say I don't want Carlo Ancelotti in this league again. Not until Jurgen Klopp's gone, because I don't like Carlo Ancelotti and Klopp. They don't get on well.
He's dunked on you too many times. Fair enough.
Yeah,
the thing is,
go on, Gav.
Yeah, Tottenham had a win now manager, and they weren't able to do it. And I understand what you say about Nagelsmann calling him a project manager. I think because he's only 35, people think he's still a rookie. He's been managing for 8 years. He's been around, and he's taken teams from obscurity. Because who were Hoffenheim? Hoffenheim have got one of the worst supported teams in the Bundesliga in terms of the size of the club. If they go down, which they look like they could go down this season, then there's no hope of them coming back anytime soon. He got them into relevancy and got them into Europe. You boys played against him in the Champions League, Tom. You know what I mean? And then he's gone to Leipzig and done what he did at Leipzig, and now he won the league last year. He's in within a shout. I'm still so confused over why he's left Bayern. But if Tottenham were to get Nagelsmann, I think that would be a great appointment for Tottenham. I don't want it to happen because I hate Tottenham Hotspur. I don't want them to prosper. But if there's no win now managers that are knocking around, and even Luis Enrique turned around and said the other day that he has no intention of coming to England at this time, that tells me that he's waiting for a. Yeah. He said it 2 days.
He wants to come to England.
Who said this?
Yeah,
sorry? I missed the name. Who?
Fabrizio Romano.
No. Yeah, said about who?
Enrique.
Luis Enrique.
Oh, okay.
Luis Enrique. Yeah, he wants to come to England, not at this time. So that tells me he does not want to go to Tottenham, and he is waiting.
He said he wanted to go to a project that that could do big things, which automatically takes Spurs out of the equation.
They can't do it.
I honestly think he was on his knees for us there. I'm not gonna lie.
He was
on Luis Enrique though. The original report said he was open to the idea, and this is where football fans get dragged into their club's PR because they'll go, "There was no official offer." There wasn't, but there was definitely talk between intermediaries, and he's like, "Fuck that! If that's their project," because he was open originally, and now he's shut it down. Chike here says, "Money talks, BS walks. Get Simeone." Simeone wouldn't go to Tottenham, would he?
Let's be honest, he's
Simeone's
not taking
the
the pay
highest
cut
paying
either.
manager in the world.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. No chance.
He's on
No.
34
But-
million a year. Tottenham aren't paying Simeone close to that.
No
But
way.
I have a question, like, because I've seen this on Twitter quite a bit from Chelsea fans, where now that Nagelsmann is available, they're feeling a little bit like, well, maybe this Potter thing is not as good. Like, you know what I mean? Because it seemed like they started to come around. Like, Roy, from your perspective, like, would you sack Potter to get Nagelsmann? Because if Nagelsmann went to Spurs and you guys had Potter, I feel like that's like an
We'd have the
alternate
worst manager in the top
universe.
six.
You what?
I think if Nagelsmann goes to Spurs,
Sorry,
and we've
Roy,
got the worst
cheeky of
manager
you
in
to
the top
think
six.
you're in the top six. Cheeky of you
Huh?
to think you're.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Oh, we've got the worst manager in the Big Six.
Is
Well, no,
what
it's
we're
like-
saying now?
Okay.
What we'll call it is the tradition, because I used to do this back in the day. It used to be the traditional top four. Now it's the traditional top six. That's what it is. Do you know
Okay,
what I
the
mean?
traditional top six, because obviously
Yeah.
top six on its own means people have to automatically load up PremierLeague.com and look at the table. But
They're usually the top half.
we are actually currently 10th, tied on points with Villa and 11th.
Playing
We're
11th.
playing this weekend,
Yeah.
so it's quite that. But with regards to
Big table
Nagelsmann,
clash.
Yeah, he's a better manager than Potter. And initially, I wasn't really too sold on him because from what I didn't really watch Bayern like week in, week out, but from what I did see, he's got a few similar issues to Potter where he just changes system a bit too much. And if you look at all the top managers, Pep, Arteta this season, Klopp in previous years, they've had the same effective system and they've used it week in, week out to get results. And with Nagelsmann, yes, he won the league with Bayern Munich. Yes, he was only 1 point off top, which for Bayern isn't good enough. But he's changed system a lot this season. And doing that with a squad like ours, where they're not really that used to playing with each other, a lot of new incomings, I feel like they're not really going to have the chance to build chemistry and start to really churn out effective results week in, week out. So, yes, he's a better manager than Potter. And so, therefore, yes, I would take him. But there's just a couple small red flags with regards to maybe how he left Bayern, what was the state of the dressing room at the time. Because our dressing room's full of, he's got a few big egos in there as well.
Yeah.
So, could that be a potential?
I don't know. He's worked with the RB Leipzig system and all that.
Yeah,
kind
and obviously
of stuff.
our
Isn't that
director,
what you guys are trying to do as well?
Yeah,
like,
our director knows
feels
him as
like
well,
that
so
would
they've
be
got
a better
relationship
choice
going.
for you guys.
Yeah,
So I would be
I
happy with it, but there's tiny red flags.
I like Nagelsmann. I think he's very, very good. And I know he's been managing a while, but he is still young. And the thing is, when you're young, there's certain things that it takes years to develop. And your understanding of the game, as much as he's been a manager since he was 28, he's still only 35 years old. He's only got X amount of experience in football. Some managers, they build that experience whilst they're playing, and then they go into being a manager. You're just older. And I do think that plays a part. But I think he'll definitely do a better job than Potter. And I hope Spurs don't get him.